Hi you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back to another December daily process video. In this video, I'll be working with day or stories 7 and 8. And right here, I'm just going to be putting this through the Meek machine, these letters that spell out Christmas. But I wanted to show you right there how I did not print out my letters properly and the ink was rubbing off. And the way that you can remedy this, if this happens to you, it's because I'm using a cardstock and my setting was set to plain paper. So if you go ahead and change your settings in your printer settings before you print to thicker paper, there's two options, I believe, then it will print out really beautifully. So I just wanted to show you that, that definitely can happen, but it's easily remedied. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm cutting out those letters. And what I've done is I've taken one of those 2x2 pockets and I've cut the top off of it. And you can see that there's maybe like 1/4 of an inch left on the top. And I did that because I wanted to keep the hole intact, to keep it a little bit more sturdy in the album. But it actually ends up being really useful. And you'll see in a minute as I'm trying to put a tab on the top of it, that little lip becomes quite useful. So I'm just trying to think about some of the embellishments that I want to add, and I'm really loving this happy holiday cheer. I thought it was a little too big, but I think it's obvious that that's an S, so I wasn't too worried about it. Then I'm taking some of these tabs. I guess I'm trying to think of what these are. The words have slipped my mind, but I want to add a tab to the top, and I thought it would be fun to pull those out. I haven't actually been sure how to use them, but I'm actually setting this story aside, or actually that was the back of story 7, and I haven't gotten to that yet because I haven't printed out those photos, but I am moving on to day 8 or story 8, however you want to look at it. And this story is all about how I'm feeling this holiday season and how there's a lot of possible changes coming up for us and how I'm choosing to trust. And that was my word for the year, actually. So it's a little bit about how I'm feeling right at the moment as, things are coming to a head in our lives and discussions are being had. So it's just something that I wrote. I actually think that I put it on Instagram on my Amy Gretchen account, actually. If you're interested in reading that, you can go ahead and snag that. So what I wanted to do is I've got those messy circles from Ali Edwards, and I'm using the glitter zing to emboss that right onto the card. I kind of wish I hadn't used the glitter because that stamp was so fine. I felt like it would have been better if I had used just the plain gold, but it ended up working out just fine. I think if I had to do it over again, though, I believe I probably would have just used the flat gold. So now I'm going through my stash of numbers. This came from the Ali Edwards December Daily Kit from this year, and I'm trying to find the number 8. And of course, it ends up being the last number I can find. In fact, I was a little afraid that it was missing, so I'm glad that it wasn't. And now I'm just going to fiddle around with the pocket a little bit, just trying to decide if I want to add the other photo or not, and trying to figure out what paper I want to back the 8 with. So I'm just, this day is going to be really simple, and I love that. Sometimes I feel like we need to make it more complicated than it is, but ultimately I'm a simple girl, and as you've probably noticed, so I keep it really simple. I'm looking at that card, and I really like it. I like it against the gold Christmas. But I'm messing around to see some of the other things, the other cards. I love the Liz Tamanaha. Her cards for her kit this year were really great. I absolutely loved them. So I'm looking through those, and I settle on this card with the plaid, and I keep going back to that tree, the gold tree, or the triangle. It looks like a tree to me because I think it's really beautiful. But ultimately, I really like the red from the plaid and the red from the holiday cheer. So I thought that that was a good tie into those pages. So now I'm pulling over the photos for day 7, and this was actually a very spur of the moment thing. Tess and I went to a party, and she got this like holiday headband that was very festive. And so we were taking pictures and being silly, and then Megan had a Santa hat, and I ended up actually calling Bella and telling her that she should come home because I wanted to take some pictures of her. Because after, we were taking pictures and just having a good time, I realized this would be a really great Christmas card. And I love Christmas cards, but this was actually the first year I thought I'm not going to do a Christmas card this year. So I'm glad we had this moment and I had this idea because I'm going to definitely use them for the Christmas card. But I wanted to add them into my December daily like this in separate pockets. So I don't know if I'm going to actually put the Christmas card in the album. I may or may not. Maybe I'll put it just into my project life. So we'll see how that goes when I get there. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. I wish that I had Adam was out of town, or I would have taken a picture of both of us and put us in there as well, but he is going to be gone for another few days, and so I didn't want to wait to do it until he came back. Got to get those cards printed. So now I'm just fiddling around, just trying to decide what embellishments I want to add to these pockets. And you'll see in a little bit what I'm doing here. I actually end up changing, but ultimately what I wanted is I'm trying to figure out where to put the 7, and had thought about putting it in one of the pockets, but then I had this great idea that under that on that tab where it says "'Tis the season," that I would spell out 7, and so that's what I go ahead and do, and you can see it right there that I've spelled out 7 onto that tab. But the next day, when I was looking through my album and I was going to take pictures, I wanted to change out those white cards because I thought they looked a little too white and plain. And so I cut up a card, just the back of one of the cards that had some circles on it, and I threw those into the back. And then I decided that I wanted to add the 7 right into one of the pockets. So I did something very similar to what Allie Edwards did, and I took the red embossing powder. This is also a little bit glittery. I kind of wish that it hadn't have been, but I think if it had been flat red, maybe it wouldn't have worked out as great. And I think I cut out a little bit of this so you don't see everything, but I end up having to emboss this 3 times. So the first time I do it, I do get a little bit of bubble. And someone has asked me about that in the comment section. And to be honest, I have no idea why something bubbles or not. I'm thinking it may be the integrity of the actual embossing powder itself, but I'm not sure. So I actually I use the Versamark ink again, and then I do the powder again, and I do that 3 times. Just, it adds a little bit of thickness, but it was kind of cracking a little bit. So I thought that the 3 coats worked out pretty well. And I don't know if that had something to do with the glitter or not, but I guess if all else fails, just keep putting layers on. I don't know. That's what I did, and it seemed to work out. So the other thing that I wanted to change was when I was looking at it, the magic and the Christmas and that holiday cheer, there were just so many words on that page that I wanted to change it to the stars. And then I changed this to the front tab to joy because instead of writing out the 7, I put the 7 right into the pocket. So I thought that that was a good option. I actually did like having the 7 written out on the tab. I thought it was really cute, but I wanted a little bit more red to that spread to go with the hats and to go with the spread next door. And then I just went ahead and added some staples right onto those tabs just to secure it down a little bit more. All right, you guys, this is my spread for days 7 and 8. If you want to see more of my December daily, I will have more links in the description below, or you can subscribe and you will get all the updates when I put them online. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I reached 1K, which feels very significant to me. And I'll be doing a giveaway coming up in the next couple days. So definitely look out for that. All right, you guys, we will catch you next time. Bye.